Sexy vision.
Hello, everybody. We're back at Steel Buffalo Motors. Of course, you know this place as our wonderful dreamscape, our backdrop. But of course, it is the best bike shop in Los Angeles. They service anything from e-bikes to Vespas to Triumphs to Harley Davidsons. But of course, they specialize in Indian motorcycles. In fact, SB M is what AMG is to Mercedes, to Indian motorcycles, and we are very happy to be here with my new friend.
Bonjour.
That's a little quick, but I hope.
Xavier.
This
Xavier.
This is Xavier Déclie,
Déclie.
and he is a decorated martial artist, action movie star, personal trainer to stars as well. Not a cigar smoker, unfortunately, at least not anymore.
Never been.
Okay. I don't take that personally. And of course, a biker as well. And we are going to be very happy to learn more about him. So, welcome to the channel.
Hello. So again, my name is Xavier Déclie. Here this is Xavier. My name is Xavier. So I started martial art when I was 6 years old. I used to fight with my brother, older brother, and my dad got so upset. He said, "You want to fight? I'm taking you to the dojo." So we went to the dojo, and then he got kind of screwed because we were so good at judo at the time. He had to take us every weekend to compete. So his weekend were done. So he was very upset with us.
Hopefully, you stopped practicing at home, huh?
Yes, but he abandoned us when I was 13 years old. So we had so much anger. So martial arts personally helped me to focus in life
And help
to
you
live
channel those
exactly,
emotions.
and leave my anger in the dojo. So every time I used to go there, man, I wanted to beat everybody up, which is it's not good. You don't even say the word fighting in martial art. You call it light sparring.
Moving around.
Yeah, I always love. It's so funny because when you say, "Okay, guys, put the gears on, light sparring," nothing is light about it, but you call it light sparring. So I studied judo for 10 years. I was judo champion at 17, and then I went to the military.
I love this energetic beginning, and this is the dynamism that someone like Saf brings to the channel. But I did want to start with a very quick question because it's become customary to say that all the people that I interviewed previously on this channel have a life before they made it to the United States. But when I look at your trajectory, it feels like you could fit 2-3 different lives there. You went through Europe, Monaco, Spain, Italy. Of course, you are from France. You went to Africa, and not only North Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, but also Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Somalia, Tahiti. All these different stops in the Caribbean, Samba, Guadeloupe, Mauritius, Seychelles Islands, and also Saint Martin. Now I'm gonna play the fool a little bit because I have a little bit of knowledge about your personal history, but I really want to know what made you be all over the place like that. What helped you go through the world like that?
All right. So what happened? I did my degree in France as a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And then I worked in one of the best clubs called, at the time, Champs-Élysées. It became Gymnast Club. It was the #1 club in Europe. And then I met a guy as a client, and he asked me to come to Saint Martin to open a gym for him. And all right, we negotiate the price.
To the French Caribbean.
To the French Caribbean, the French side of Saint Martin. This is Dutch and French. Excuse me. So I went to the Caribbean, Saint Martin. I opened a gym for him. I teach my martial art. I teach classes. I had every day 80 girls in my classes. So I was a very famous trainer in Saint Martin. Everybody wanted to hire me.
Are you doing the scarecrows for the famous part, or because training involved other kinds of physical activities?
It was I think I was the I was the first guy doing this kind of classes for women. and they asked me to train in the Dutch side of the island, which I did. And then I said, you know what? Maybe I should start doing private training. So then a friend of mine who was real estate at the time had a client, came from Philadelphia, a big time movie producer. And she said, you want to train the guy? I find you a client. I said, okay, good. And that's the guy who actually brought me to the States.
Is it okay if I like this?
Yeah. Can you put the fan towards the smoke there? So.
Is it really okay?
Yeah, you go. But don't go this way. This way.
I'll make sure.
Thank you.
So, in fact, it was your
My
job
first,
at Saint-Martin
Voilà.
that brought you back
Yes.
to the US.
and this guy become, back in the day, it was 1991, the way I was teaching my classes, I don't know what he saw in me or whatever, I was different, I didn't speak a word of English at the time. I used to say to him, squeeze the buttocks. He's like, excuse me? Instead of squeeze the buttocks. So they find it kind of comical at the same time. So we did a videotape of exercise.
So they were actually having fun
Yes.
because of your accent,
Exactly,
because of your
and-
mannerisms.
Exactly. And also being French, trying to speak English, I didn't speak English at the time. But he said to me, I come back in San Martin in 6 months. If you speak a little bit of English, we're going to shoot a video of exercise for women only. So oh my God, I said, I got to move to the Dutch side of the island to learn English, which I did.
And just to clarify, because you said it was the first time really someone was teaching women in this regimented manner, what kind of exercise, what kind of training?
Well, I was specialized in the lower part of the woman body. Because women always complain from the abs, the legs, the glutes.
Yeah.
It's always a problem. So I developed a system to work on this area for women only. So then we shot the videotape in Data Point, actually, California.
Yeah.
And he had the 800 number at the time, and we sold everything. So now all the TV in America wanted to see, who's this guy?
How old were you at that time?
I was 31 years old.
Okay.
Not anymore, but I was 31 years old. So I came to New York City, I did all the shows, Regis and Kathy, all the shows. They loved me, and I didn't speak English. I have no clue. Live show, I have no idea what they asked me. I'm like, yeah, no clue.
But you still look good, but you were looking good at the time, so you don't have to really articulate much.
Yeah, I look better, but my English was worse. So anyway, so then I come back to San Martin, and then the guy who did this for me said, listen, I want to do a second video tape because we saw the first one. Let's do the second one. We did the second one, brought me back to New York, did the shows again, and someone did ask me on the show, say, would you be an actor? So I try, I don't know if I can act. So I'll try anything. So okay. So then the producer, the TV producer, movie producer, whatever, I said, I think you have to move to New York City. You cannot stay in San Martin. So I moved to New York City. I went to NYU, learned English and acting.
Okay. Not a bad place to be.
Not a bad place.
Especially at that time of history. I think the
Yeah, it
village
was
really
It was 1992 at
the
the time.
place.
Yeah. But I worked my booty off to learn English and to learn acting. I didn't know if I can act.
You can curse.
Good. So and then I had to do a monologue in English for William Morris, New York. I didn't have no clue what a monologue was in English. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I learned study. I did a monologue, and William Morris signed me on the spot. So that was the beginning of my movie career, because from there they said you have to go to Hollywood and you're gonna do a screen test for Sony. They want to see you at Sony Pictures. So I moved to New York City, study. They did a screen test for me at Sony Pictures, and they signed me a 4-movie deal on the spot. That was like, whoa, okay, let's do it. And then he gave me a big check, and I was like, I remember I took a photo of the check, not a photo, I made a copy of the check.
We didn't really have smartphones at the time, I don't think.
Exactly. So I have to correct myself. So we did a copy of the check. I'm like, that's fun.
And hang it on the wall.
And that's the start of everything, because I did 1 movie with them. I was supposed to do 4 movies. I did 1. And then Jonathan Dolgen was at the head of the studio at the time, left Sony, went to Paramount. So the new guy, John Peter, was the new guy at Sony said, "That's not my deal. I'm not doing anything with you." That was his deal. So they canceled my 3 other pictures. So then I auditioned for another company called Interlight at the time, and I signed another 4 picture deal. I did one. The 3 other never happened. I auditioned for another guy called Avi Nurser. I did another movie. I was supposed to do 3, just did one, and on and on and on. And then my acting
So
coach.
there's that pattern of you get a break, you get a wonderful opportunity, but somehow it doesn't get fulfilled. On the other hand, as hard
Even
as
with contract, say welcome to Hollywood, right?
So we kind of figured out how you ended up in the United States, but there's a little bit of a gap there. And if you don't want to answer any of the questions, you know, I don't mind, of course. But between your early 20s and your teenage years to age 31, how did you end up in San Martin, and what did you do before?
Well, after the military, I was a military in they sent me in Tahiti where we had the atomic bombs.
Yeah.
They sent me to Mure, it's called Mureroa. So it's a little atoll in the middle of the South Pacific. And I saw 11 bombs blowing. That's something that I don't think you know anyone who saw 11 bombs blowing. One of them.
I mean, I don't know if you watched Oppenheimer, the recent movie, but the experience of even seeing the test, even without the immediate threat of it being used in some fashion, must be really transformative mentally.
People have no idea how powerful it is. Because the one who was shooting in there, he was inside of the lagoon. Yeah. So they have a tower in the lagoon, and they dig inside, like I think 1 kilometer, so 2.5 miles or something. And then they put cement, they put the bomb, cement all the way to the top. And then they clear, all the officers leave the islands, and they ask us, every 30 meters on the beach, there is a platform, 30 feet high, and you have to go with a mask. But you're half naked, you have a short, like a shirt like this, and you have a mask. And you're on the platform and it's like 100 degrees outside, you have a mask, and you wait for the bomb to blow, right? And then when it blows, the atoll is like a 9.5 earthquake. You see the whole atoll go up and down, and you move like this, and then you have a wave coming. And you don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows. It's experimental. So every time, the night before they feed us lobsters, they don't tell us anything. So we know the next morning something's going to blow, right?
It really sounds almost biblical, like as if you are eating your last meal, your last supper, so to speak. And then the next day, the nature basically militates against you. Of course, it's not really nature, it's a man-made disaster in a supposedly controlled fashion, but to experience that physically and mentally must be something else.
Yeah, so they destroyed the atoll. I mean, Cousteau, remember Cousteau at the time? Commander Cousteau came in the atoll. There's no fish because there's leaks everywhere. And then the atoll, by the sea level, collapsed to 6 feet underwater. So all the time there's a hurricane or anything like this there, we're in the water ourselves. So anyway, I got skin cancer because of that, because they didn't monitor anything. We should have a radiation detector on us. We never had it. We were swimming. We're not supposed to go swimming. But you're 19 and a half, 20 years old, whatever. You go, you don't care about these things. So then from there, that's how I arrived to, San Martin, and San Martin to the States. And then my manager passed away, and then I signed a deal. I was, nobody knew about it, but my acting coach from New York called me and said they're auditioning for Tarzan.
Why? I mean, that's one of my discoveries that you were cast as Tarzan.
21st Tarzan. So I go to audition at in the valley, and I arrived online. There was like 350 guys, big dude, long hair. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm like probably the smallest guy. And I'm waiting for my turn. Everybody audition, and then I go inside, do my things, and then the casting director said, "Do you mind doing this way?" And the director said, "Can you do this way?" All right. I'm like, "What do you want from me?" And then say, "Okay, do you mind waiting there for us?" All right. I'm not kind of upset because I want to eat. Didn't have lunch yet. And I see all these big guys coming and screaming, "No!"
And you are used to your lobster dinners in Tahiti.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even think about it. I'm like, I want to eat something, and they keep me here forever. And I hear the next guy auditioning, screaming. I'm like, what an idiot this guy! What the heck is doing? And then after a while, they call me back in. So Xavier, come here. All right. I say, I hope you're ready to pack your suitcase because you're going to South Africa. I'm like, what? Congratulations, you're the new Tarzan. Oh man, I cried.
Amazing.
Tears.
Well, I mean, maybe for once, not speaking English very well helped you with that role.
Actually, if you know I met after that. I met with Edgar Rice Burroughs' nephew.
Yeah.
The one who wrote all the novel of Tarzan. They actually were happy that I was French, because in the novel, the first language he spoke, even if he was a lord from England, his first speaking language was French. From a lieutenant, yeah.
It was meant to be in a way.
I mean, I think I was perfect for that. So then I had a daughter who was born, and my daughter used to go to school, and she said, "My daddy is Tarzan," and the teacher said, "Yeah, right, yeah." Huh? She was upset, nobody believed her. And I used to go to the beach with her, and people, "Hey, Tarzan!" People, I did so many interviews, TV, and all this stuff with the loincloth on.
You had to be in character.
I had to be in character, and then my manager passed away. I couldn't work. I booked a couple of movies, couldn't do it because my immigration run out. It was crashed from being there to down. So then I married a senator, who was my wife for 10 years, Playboy Playmate.
So what's the name, if you don't mind?
Rebecca Ferrari.
Okay.
That was her name. So I got married with her, and then I get my citizenship. And then I stopped to go back to the movie business. And I just did another movie right now with Nick Casavetes, big movie in Mexico. And hopefully there is more coming. And I'm still here working. I still do my martial arts. I will never stop training.
And of course, they ask you as if it were an outrageous question, are you ready to pack your suitcase and go to South Africa, go to another continent? But that's something you did many times over in your life, of course. Can I possibly ask you about your deployments in the French Legion?
Yeah, it's the best thing ever happened to me.
Because this is something I learned, again, I learned something from all of my guests here, but this is something that I just discovered when I was doing research, because I always thought that the being called the Légion étrangère, it was for foreigners. But then I figured out that there is this interesting story when you want to join the Legion as a Frenchman. Mm-hmm. They kind of invent a background for you. Is that true?
Yeah, they even change your name. They keep your name, but they give you a nickname back in the day.
That sounds foreign.
No, but the thing is, it was foreign because what they did back in the day is not what it is now. They used to have also criminals to join the French Foreign Legion instead of going to jail. So people who murder in Yugoslavia or steal, they were supposed to go to jail. They joined the French Foreign Legion, and they completely lose the name. So now they belong to us, French Foreign Legion.
And you start
Nobody
from
can take
scratch, blank slate.
Exactly, but you have to speak French. So they have to learn French because it's all in French. And then the friendship we have in this, it's hard training. Everything is hard. But the friendship you discover in these guys, because the guy in front of you and the guy behind you is there to protect you, and you do the same. And I don't know how to explain this, but I miss that camaraderie in there. We suffer together, but it's fun in the same time.
And you have, in a way, yes, you might say you have everything to gain, nothing to lose, but you are starting from scratch, absolute zero in a way. And you have to build yourself.
It's all about the training.
Along with these people from the ground up.
And one screw up, we'll do it again. And we always had one. I remember that guy. His name was Benet. He was from Alsace. This guy, the most clumsy guy I ever met in my life. We start, putting the gun, everything, presenting arm, blah, blah, and you hear a gun falling down. And you cannot turn and look, right? And it's him. So because of him, you walk again, 22-kilometer walk. This guy, every time, screws us up. Every time. You get up in the morning at 5:30, you have to make your bed, everything. This guy was still sleeping. We would have beat the shit out of him for him alive. So, and you know, I mean, it's, and then we do Cameron. Cameron is a big celebrity. I mean, you celebrate Cameron. He's from when the Legionnaire fought in Mexico, and they were surrounded by 400 guys, and they didn't surrender until the last one. They died. They kept the commander alive, but then they shot him after that, whatever. So we celebrate this every year, and there's no rank. So we used to in Tahiti where we were, no alcohol on the seats, no alcohol, no woman. You don't see no woman there, and there's no alcohol allowed where we have the bomb actually bomb club. So what we used to do when we used to go, they let us go 1 week to Papeete on permission. We used to sneak alcohol, red wine, and then we made we made a cocktail to celebrate Cameron. So you have the surgeon you can stand, you want to beat the shit out of him, but you can't because he's your surgeon and you have to respect him, you know, blah, blah, blah. When he's Cameron, he doesn't have the surgeon anymore. He's like us. We're all in the same grade.
Everyone is the same rank on
that's,
that.
you should see how many fight there is with X, Axe. I mean, it's bad because people drink. So we made a cocktail mixed with red wine, Fabergé aftershave, and another called lotion Foucault. It's a lotion for the skin. So we used to make this with ice, shake it and shot it. You know how bad that is? Oh, we all smell good. Hi. Everybody's like, oh my God, smell like perfume. That's so fucked up. So that's what we did.
And that's is that a common recipe among the Legionnaires?
Oh yeah.
Or is it something
No.
your group in?
No, it's a must. Every Legionnaire does do it. It's a must. We'll do it.
But you still know how to make it?
I would never do this again. I had the worst headache.
I can do it for the
Yeah.
audience. Like take a
Try
shot
this.
of this.
And then so we
You have to prepare it though.
So this is the story. I shouldn't say that. People will say, oh, that. So we're all kind of drunk. And then, because there's no woman on the seat, what do you think we want to do, all of us?
I see what's coming.
You
but
know what's
tell
coming?
me.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, of course.
So there is some herere. In Tahitian, it's called herere. So they hired some guys to work for the government, the French government, but they are homosexual, right?
Okay.
It's called herere. So they wear the long hair, the flowers. They work for us, but not with the military.
They are government employees.
Yes.
That's
So
amazing.
I knew.
You gotta love France as a state.
Oh my God.
It really provides for its people.
So they had a house on the atoll somewhere, and the only one who knew where it was, it's me, because my colonel at the time, I used to taekwondo when I was there, and my colonel used to give me his car to go train, and all the time I used to go train, I go by a house and I see this rere everywhere. Mm-hmm. So then I'm drunk with 5 of my friends. I say, hey guys, do you want to get a blowjob? Everybody, yeah, what do you mean? I say, let's go see the rere. So we go it's curfew, you're not supposed to be out after 10 p.m., whatever. So we go very, not making any noise. I go in a house, it's called a fare. So the house on Piloti, there's nothing under, whatever. I go in the house and I knock on the door. Open the door, all in French. They don't want to open. No, get away, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah? So the guy won't leave. I said, no, don't worry about it. So next to the house, because it's Tahiti, there's a big fire extinguisher in case of fire or whatever, because the house is in wood. So I take the fire extinguisher, take the pin out. I put there's a big cone for the thing to come out, right? I put that in a mosquito screen. I say, if you not come out, I'm going to fumigate you. So I push the thing to the window.
Okay.
Next window. So they run out of the door, but they call the MP, right?
Okay.
So me, I'm so drunk.
The military police.
Military police. So me, I'm still blowing the freaking and I see a guy running this way, another guy running this way. I'm like, what's wrong with him? I'm still, and then I see boots. I'm like, oh, shit. So now I realize the white boots, the military police. So I throw the thing, I run. I think I'm going under the house. I'm not. I'm under a tree. I'm so drunk. So I'm playing dead under a tree, and I see the boots coming next to me. And then the hand grab me, lift me, put me in a truck, and take me to jail. So now I'm in jail, drunk. So I'm like,
all this for a blowjob.
which we never had. So now I'm in jail, and my colonel, thank God, is from Cognac, the city next to where I'm from, La Rochelle.
Okay.
And he loved me because I used to do taekwondo every day, like 5 hours a day there. So he used to come and watch us. So he comes and said, Déclie, what happened to you? And I explained to him, I said, listen, I did Cameroon last night. I was drunk and I wanted to get a blowjob. And he's like, oh my God. So because of him, he took me out of jail. So now I had a problem with the surgeon.
Because of that affinity.
Exactly. He knows I'm not a bad person. He knows I was drunk. We celebrate Cameroon together. So he took me out. I had to go sign the paper. And my surgeon couldn't stand me because he knew I had a good relation with the colonel. And as I was a first class at the time, you're not supposed to go to the colonel. You have to go to the surgeon to the captain to the. So he hated me. So I had to go to him for him to sign the paper. Fucking asshole. So anyway, that's my story to you about the French Foreign Legion.
We're talking about
Yes.
experience in the French Legion, which involved a wild night of various adventures.
Yeah.
Where they celebrated this special day of memory for the Legion, for their exploits and for their sacrifice in Mexico, where everyone is on the same rank. I guess that kind of ranklessness at a certain point, and your background, like you said, living close enough to your colonel somehow helped you get out of this. What would you have faced if they kept you in the
30 days in jail? 30 days.
That's rough.
So what saved me again is martial arts. That's why I would never stop. The discipline, and people know who you are and respect who you are. So they know that whatever happened, this is nothing to do with me, Xavier. But, it's not an excuse, but we celebrate. And I had the bad idea to do these things and, pay the consequences. But because of my background and this guy respecting me, training every day, like 5 hours, every day I was there, it took me out because of the respect of the art.
But, now that you talked about all these details of your experience in the Legion, this idea of never giving up, having people around you who push you forward, who sometimes bring you down, and also the idea that you can make mistakes, you might be thrown up with some sort of obstacle, you start from scratch, and you make a go at it again. And I feel that attitude has carried you all the way over here and helped you face so many of the challenges that you talked about in terms of your career, especially in acting.
I think also this attitude of being a martial artist helps you in so many different ways. In acting also, because you have the discipline to study and become the person you should be as a character. And that's something you do all the time when you go to fights. You see that guy in front of you, you have no idea who he is. But now it's you and him. It's one-on-one. So when you bow and you go there, you forget about everything. You just do it.
Yeah.
And martial art acting is the same thing. You become the character. Camera say rolling in action. Boom, you go and do it.
You have to submit yourself to that task, to that character.
Yeah.
And everything somehow, again, in terms of your life, everything starts really fitting
it's connected,
together.
Right? It's pretty amazing.
Because you have this ability to actually submit yourself to the discipline and rigor of a certain art, whether that's a martial art or really the art of being in the military, in the Legion, or the art of acting.
But it goes hand in hand. Military is like martial arts. It's like you respect, you humble, you bow. This is the same thing. When you do martial arts, it's like being in the military. That's why when I went there, for me, it was not very strange. Yeah. It's the same kind of attitude you have there. But the beauty of this, even now as a trainer, because I still train people privately, is like you establish a goal with your client, and then you make it happen, and then you realize you change people's life doing this. And that for me is priceless. I mean, you see that a guy or a woman has a goal and she never reach it, but to the training and the positivity and make her change the mindset, you realize the goal, you can do it. And then once you do it, you see the person change as well as the body change. And then you realize that, oh, what's my purpose on earth? Well, I think mine is to change people's life, make them better and live longer. And I think for me, it's gratitude all the way.
There's something I want, well, a few very important things I want to talk there, but there's a very interesting question, well, relevant question at any rate, about what I'm smoking. This is actually a Steel Buffalo brand. It's a 54 ring gauge, Nicaraguan with a Connecticut wrapper. It's a beautiful cigar. You can actually order these cigars from Steel Buffalo Motors. So check it out.
And this is Steel Buffalo on. No, I'm joking. Sorry.
Well, that we can't ship nationally.
Sorry, Benny.
Well, first of all, I think what you said about transforming people through transforming their bodies and really helping them find a certain kind of discipline and routine in their lives, picking up certain positive habits is really, really powerful. But I like the fact that you remained a lifelong student of martial arts. You committed yourself, especially because it literally saved you from the hole, in that experience.
Yes.
You may have had to spend an entire month in military jail, which I'm sure is not luxurious like a Norwegian prison, for example. And I'm so happy to hear that you have been able to also become a teacher, even as you remain a student. Do you still learn also a lot from some of your clients?
You do, actually. You learn all the time from you. Every student is different. And the way you teach each of them, the way they learn, it's also different. So you always, even when you put a black belt, it's actually a white belt. You're always a student. Black belt is just a knowledge.
You start from scratch again, right?
Exactly. It's a life cycle. So you have a black belt. Oh yeah, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean you can beat this guy up or anything. You should be meaning something. You can self-defend, yes. But the meaning of that belt is like the knowledge you have to teach someone new. Right. To becoming also a black belt.
It's your responsibility.
Exactly. So you do the right thing, and also the way people respond to your teaching. I make it fun. I don't think I'm a boring trainer. Everything about me, it's fun. But when I put the uniform, I'm a different guy.
Yeah.
When I go to my dojo, I put my uniform. That's it. It's like, then now it's gone. Then back zav. But when I'm teaching, it's serious business. You want to learn. You not get a black belt in 3 years like they do here. I never understood that. I saw kids. I mean, good for them. But how can you be 9 years old with a black belt? What? Black belt is at least 10 years study.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a lifelong commitment, like you said.
So here, like the Korean, they have a system. You buy a black belt, 3 years. Okay. Wow. I mean, I would have like 10 black belt then. I mean, if it's the case.
Well, like you said, there are degrees, of course, but
again, degrees knowledge.
It's not about that, anyways. Like you said, it's about being able to give back and transform others.
And also, you build what's very positive about that. You build people. People are very self-confident about it. You see people when they start, they work like this. After a couple of belts, the posture is different. Yeah. You can see it. I mean, I think this is magic. People build confidence to the art.
In a way, it is, don't you think?
Yeah, and the mindset also change. So that's why it's like learning music. You in the beginning you struggle, and then you play music, and then you melody. So the art is the same. In the beginning, it's hard. It's always hard, but then it becomes fun to do it, even if it's hard. You deal with the pain. Of course, you're gonna have bruises. If you don't want bruises, go do ballet or whatever.
Well,
that's hard too. But
ballerinas have a lot of bruises and a lot of scars on their
toes.
Feet,
yeah. Oh my God.
It involves a lot of excruciating pain. But that's actually, it's a simple lesson to articulate, but sometimes very hard to implement, of course, in modern life where people are going through this hustle and bustle in urban centers, especially. But, like you're saying, if you can actually set aside an hour, maybe even half an hour
of your daily life, it can it can change your entire outlook. It can change your entire existence.
Especially in this stressful world, you need, if you don't meditate, go get a bag, punch the bag, even 10 minutes, you feel so much better. Take your anger out, not on people outside, go in your bedroom, punch a pillow, whatever, scream inside of it. I'm telling you, it changed your life. I mean, I wouldn't do martial art, I'd be in jail 100%, because I would beat people in the street. I'm not kidding. Every day, I drive a motorcycle, right? Indian motorcycle.
Yeah.
People cut you off, run a stop sign, they give you the finger and scream at you. I didn't do absolutely nothing.
For no reason.
For no reason. They almost kill you and they give you the finger and insult you. Thank God he doesn't come out of his car. On a moment like this, I don't think I could control myself. I would sign me in a hospital.
Well,
but I don't do it.
I don't believe you because, again,
I'm a French lover.
Since you said from the beginning, from your teenage years, you have been in this discipline. You have always learned to channel your emotions. So I think you always know better, and that's why you are kept out of trouble.
I know better, but there's a button, and you don't want to push that button, especially when somebody, try to kill you on a motorcycle.
I'll be careful. I'll be mindful. I'll keep that in mind.
That's a very
when I'm talking to you.
Oos. Breathe in, breathe out. Anyway, yes, sir.
The other thing I want to say is, because what you said about that connection of the body with the mind was actually really powerful. And again, sometimes we forget to take care of our body. Sometimes we forget to take care of our minds. And again, especially, in the daily life, sometimes we can be completely lost in that exercise. And not everyone is gifted or blessed to be in an environment like you were in the Legion, for example, where you exist as a unit, where you are supported by your peers. Beyond martial arts, what do you do to keep it fresh? What do you do to keep yourself also mentally fit? You talked a little bit about meditating, but what do you do personally?
I shouldn't say I don't meditate enough, especially now I'm fighting some injuries, whatever. Because when you're older, you always fight injuries you have from previous active life, I should say. Because I've been doing Kung Fu for 30-something years, and I did some crazy stuff. I don't even know how. I didn't break anything yet, but so what I do, I read a lot too. Reading for me, I put some music, close everything, and I read. I love reading. So that's a way for me to not cope with a stress life. I disconnect from every day and I'm in the moment. Or I put some music and, 20 minutes, listen some music. For me, it works very well. Or go outdoor and, sit and watch the waves on the beach and the wind. And the element outside, it really works for me as well.
I mean, the reading is, of course, that's like you said, it helps you shut out the outside world. So it's like meditation,
exactly.
You said, but it also helps you stay in shape mentally as well.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you don't exercise certain muscles, you know this as a trainer, they fall off. You fall out of shape. If you don't work your brain, isn't it the same?
You gotta keep it sharp. Exactly.
And I love the, I think you French use this expression sometimes when you want to ask how a person is feeling. En forme, right?
En forme.
Yeah. So you adopt that as a life philosophy almost.
Yes.
You have to stay in shape.
You have to. I mean, especially when you get older. I mean, what's life is about? Try to stay healthy all the time, right?
Try to fight back, certain rascals like that.
I mean, life is so short. Oh yeah, baby.
You come dance in the frame. Why not?
We give you some dollars.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, staying in shape is one thing, but stay healthy is another thing. So shape is mean what? You have to eat healthy as well. I mean, I'm French. I love food. Yes. So I have a couple of days a week. Oh man, couple of couple of days a week, I eat really French food. Like actually last night, I had pâté and baguette. Guilty, and it felt so good. A glass of wine, yes, red wine.
But then you feel like you have to
No, I
work
do,
it
I
off,
do
you
it,
have
but
to
then I feel,
process it.
and then I feel guilty after that. So like today, I did what? Chicken breast, white yams, no salt, nothing, because I felt guilty from last night.
You have to balance it.
Yeah, and I'm, I'm this guy. I'm very. I have a discipline. That's what it is. Everything I do, I have discipline. The bad thing about me is like I do or I don't. I don't have halfway. I go all the way, or I don't do anything. It's not a good thing, but to see who I am.
But what can you tell people, who perhaps get confused by this? Because sometimes a lot of people understand being disciplined, being serious, having a dedicated routine as boring, right? As if you are not taking enough pleasure in your life, not seizing the moment, not living well. And what you're saying is quite the opposite. But what would you tell people who understand being serious and being disciplined as something removed from pleasure?
I think you have to set goals. So when you say setting goals, it doesn't mean you have to do overnight. You set a goal for a year from now. You're 300 pounds and you decide to lose weight. Write it down, put the date. Don't go on a scale every week. Start to do little by little the junk food out and take photos and see where you're going to be a year from now. Go walks. I mean, that's setting a goal can be for anything. I want to learn guitar, for example. I love guitar. I'm self-teaching the guitar, but I realize I play the same thing over and over. So I'm getting tired of doing the same freaking thing. So I decided I went to the guitar center the other day. They teach classes. So I think I'm going to join maybe once a week, 4 days a month. I'm going to go there and try to learn. I have to commit to that. So I'm going to pay for it. Once I pay, I'm going to move my booty to go there once a week because I don't like to waste money. So maybe you spend money somewhere and it's going to make you move something to move you to do something.
But again, that's amazing how things start interconnecting because again, it's an art to remain patient, right? Setting a goal. We want something now, right? We are in a consumerist society.
Patience is a virtue.
We want it not tomorrow, but yesterday. So to set goals that are realistic and that you can achieve if you remain patient, if you remain committed, if you remain disciplined, and also, the fact that you have to, like you said, entrust yourself to others a lot of times, right? Not only the discipline of learning the guitar, for example, if you want to play, but you have to actually go to a teacher who can help you.
Exactly.
Who can help push you out of your comfort zone, who can teach you new things, who can expand your horizons a little bit.
Or a friend or a family member, somebody you trust. You have to trust someone to be able to do something like this too. But also me on my...
You need a guide.
A guidance, yeah. Me, I go for 5. In Kung Fu, there is 5 virtues. And I'm trying to go in my life with those 5 virtues. It's wisdom, compassion, sincerity, courage, patience. That's the 5 virtues I'm trying to do in my life. And sometimes I fall off the wagon too. But and then I wake up, I'm like, whoa, enough. And then I go back on the wagon and I do it.
Well, sincerity means that you have to be sincere to yourself as well.
First, yes, exactly. So you have to, allow yourself, you can fall down, but as long as you get back on the horse and do it. And I did. I didn't do martial arts. It's been a month and a half because I have injury and I'm dying to do it. And so this morning, I set my goal. I said, Sunday morning, I'm get up at 5. I'm going to train at 6:30, and I did. How hard it was? Yes. I even forgot stuff. 1.5 months not training. I'm like, huh? What?
Having done it your entire life.
Yeah, something I did for 40 years. I'm doing my 4 months. I'm like, what? Huh? I was like miserable. But you know what? I didn't panic. I said, you know what? It's first day on the job. I did my thing. I kicked the bag, blah, blah, blah. Stretched a little bit. And then next week I do it again. And I'm going to go back into it. I will succeed. Age, whatever, man. You're not 20. I know you're not 20. You're not 30. But guess what? Keep moving.
Right. As long as you keep setting like
Do
you
it.
said, realistic goals,
Exactly. Yeah.
and remain patient.
Stop fucking around. I'm joking. He told me I could swear, man.
Yeah, you can.
It's French thing.
Well, I know, again, we talked about setting aside time out of your day, and I'm very grateful that you set aside this hour from your day and came and shared your wisdom and your life experience with my audience. Is there anything else you want to share with them? You want to even advertise? That's okay too. Or, just simply add something.
I just want to say, if people watch this, hopefully, I just want to say, I hope whatever I say can help anyone, because we're human. We're allowed to failure as well. Everybody failed. Doesn't matter. What matters is to get up and do it again, and you can do it many times. Reach a goal, even if it takes 10 years of your life. Just do it.
That's the other thing, right? We kind of,
we're too hard on ourselves.
we love movies, right? And that's always a very coherent story. Even if people fail, they know how to pick themselves up and eventually they succeed. But in real life, of course, you can fail again, you can fail worse, and then at some point maybe you can start failing better, and maybe down the road you might one day actually succeed. It's a much longer road, and like you said, we have to constantly remain patient, keep telling ourselves that we can in fact get better, and also surround ourselves with people who can support us and push us forward.
Yeah, and also we're the only one who know our body better than anybody else. So you have to take a moment and you have to listen to your body. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it. Okay, don't get too hard on yourself. You do it tomorrow or the next day. I've been this guy, even when I was 20, 30, 40, it was not one day I could rest. If I did, I don't feel like doing, I was doing even worse. I push my body, man, like no limits. That's probably why I break everything anyway. But what matter, again, you listen to your body, you can heal your body yourself. It's like doctors here, they want to cut you right away. You have an injury. Oh God, I pulled an hamstring. I tear this one. I never had surgery. I heal myself. With patience and dedication, you can do it. Here, it's about money. They want to cut you up. They want surgery right away. Take your time. You will heal your body. I believe in this. If they start cutting you, you always go back.
But of course, that's the complexity in that is you have to listen to your body, but you also have to be sincere. You have to be honest.
Yeah,
because sometimes that can be, as someone who has trained for a long time as well, not at the levels you have perhaps, but in different sports, in different disciplines, I know sometimes your mind wants to trick you too, telling you that you are tired. Oh no, you can't do it, not today. But a lot of times, that drive you were talking about, that youthful drive, is what helps you surpass yourself, is what helps you to push to the next level. So you have to somehow also trick it sometimes and believe in yourself that you can go at it again.
That's what makes the difference between the training and being a champion.
Right.
And you always think number two, never think you're number one. That's the way I train all my life. Even if you're number one, you have to think like number two.
Well, you still have to beat yourself next time, right?
That's your worst enemy.
Better. Well, that's really amazing. So,
thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you so much.
I hope it's positive
sharing
feedback for everybody.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. We are so happy to be in Steel Buffalo Motors, and Ben is clearly fed up with us. He's almost kicking us out, but I'm always grateful that he actually allows us to film here. He allows us to be here. Here is Ben clowning around since the beginning. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to write them in the bottom. Again, don't hesitate to hit the like button. Don't hesitate to share it with your friends.
Make some noise.
It's not every day that you meet French Legionnaire, Tarzan, personal trainer decorated martial artist,
A friend.
and his little friend, Ben Maccabee. So it's a pleasure signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have to go, guys.